Okay, fourth graders, today our goal is to be able to find prime and composite numbers. Our first step in being able to tell if a number is prime or composite is to check their factor pairs. Factor pairs are a factor pair for a number is two whole numbers whose product is that number. For example, 2 and 5 are a factor pair of 10 because 2 times 5 is equal to 10. If I wanted to find the factor pairs of 12, I could go through all of the different whole numbers that I know go in to make 12 when you multiply them. So let's see what all factor pairs 12 has. 12 has 12 times 1, 6 times 2, and 3 times 4. So their factor pairs are 12 and 1, 6 and 2, and 3 and 4. I can draw arrays to show these factor pairs. Here is an array that shows 12 times 1 because it's 1 down and 12 across. So this array shows the factor pair 1 and 12. This factor pair, 6 and 2, is shown here by this array because it's 2 down and 6 across. And finally, this array down here shows a 3 by 4 array. And so that would show us the factor pair of 3 and 4. All of these numbers here are factors of 12. They're whole numbers that multiply together to give us 12. So today I told you that our goal was to be able to figure out whether a number was prime or composite. So we're going to talk about what prime and composite mean. Prime means a number greater than 1 that has 1 in itself as its only factor pairs. Some prime numbers are 2, 5, 11, and 23. So if you think of the factor pairs of 2, the only two numbers that will go in to make 2 when you multiply them together are 2 and 1. For 5, the only factor pairs are 5 and 1. For 11, the only factor pairs are 11 and 1. And 23, the only factor pairs are 23 and 1. These are not the only prime numbers that we have. These are just a few examples. Composite means just the opposite. A number greater than 1 that has more than one factor pair is a composite number. Some composite numbers are 4, 12, 25, and 100. If we were to list all the factor pairs for these numbers, it would look like this. The factors of 4, or the factor pairs of 4, are 4 and 1, and also 2 and 2. The factor pairs for 12 are 12 and 1, 6 and 2, and 3 and 4. Factor pairs for 25 are 25 and 1, as well as 5 and 5. The factor pairs for 100 are 100 and 1, 50 times 2, 25 times 4, and also 20 times 5. The number 1 is neither prime nor composite. I would like you to turn to page 220 in your student workbook, and I want you to complete 10 through 18 on your workbook page. So what it's asking you to do is to write whether each of those numbers is a composite number, it has more than one factor pair, or a prime number. Only one in itself multiply together to give you that number. When you are finished with 10 through 18, I want you to come up to your teacher to get your work checked. Multiple is another vocabulary word that I want us to take a look at. A multiple of a number is a product or an answer of the number you're talking about times another counting number. So in other words, 12 would be a multiple of 4. It would also be a multiple of 3. You can multiply something, in this case 3, to 4 to get 12 as an answer, and 3 to 4 to get 12 as an answer. I like to think of factors as the numbers that are going in to make the product or the answer, and the multiple is the product or the answer that we're discussing.